That's just my take.
All right. Well, I wanted to show you something. This is something I wanted to do last week, but I we I had to go, and we talked for like an hour and a half. So I'm going to throw up a video. So anybody listening to this, you'll be able to hear the audio, but if you'd like to actually see the video, you can check it out. To give you a bit of context on what this is a video of a couple that broke up a number of years ago. They were together for, I believe, 4 years. I'm trying to remember the details because this was last week. I've spliced the video, so it's not like the complete thing, but so it's not too long. It's a few minutes, but essentially, it's just they're being interviewed. So the way it works for anybody who's just listening, they're being interviewed about how their relationship was and why it ended and how they first met and stuff. But each person has to have headphones on so that they can't hear the other person when they're talking. And then they take off the headphones and they talk with one another. So you get an independent answer from each person. Then they kind of deliberate together. And they have not seen each other since they broke up. Okay. So this is kind of a social experiment in a manner
We
of
met
speaking.
through mutual friends. I was barely becoming a freshman. He just graduated high school. We would just all hang out and like get boba together and just chill. And like Richard was like the driver of our group, so every single time we would hang out, he'll like pick everybody up and stuff. And he lived kind of close to my mom's house, so he would always pick me up first or drop me off last because we lived closest to each other. I thought he was cool. I was like, he has a car. This will really come in handy if I ever need a ride.
We met through like mutual friends. I didn't really find her that attractive in the beginning. And time passed, and then I realized, oh, she's kind of cute. I used to drive her basically everywhere to school to like get her makeup, especially makeup, clothes, to the mall. Man, it's like a lot of places.
Okay. So that was
All
the first
right.
question, how they met. So they both answered that. So what did you notice, Kyle?
Well, wow. I noticed that she seemed to be in a relationship with him because it would be more convenient for her life, in that he was going to drive her around, and um, evidently that turned out to be correct because he admitted himself that he drove her not only to school but to get her makeup and
Right.
do other things. So she didn't seem. I don't know. I don't know if she. I'm sure she's being honest about it.
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm sure they both are.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's already pretty telling, right there. When you get into something just because a guy's got a car, that's really not the best sign that things are going to pan out long term when you start talking about more serious issues. But we'll see
Yeah.
how this plays out.
Okay.
Wonder who she'll blame.
Okay, so the next question is who's to blame for the relationship ending? So just because they don't actually say it in the video.
I don't blame nobody. I don't blame him. I used to blame him. I blamed him a lot. And I feel like my current situation with my significant other now, the father of my child, sometimes when I argue and I lash out and I cry, I don't want to start crying right now too because it's going to get me upset. Dang. I say, oh, I blame Richard. Because a lot of people know I got my body done. I got a BBL, so I got a new butt. And people thought like, oh, you got a new ass, so you want to switch up and leave Richard for your new man. But that wasn't the case. I was with him from the start. Like, he's seen me at my worst and he's seen me at my high. People think just because I'm on social media and I do this and I do that and I look a certain way, they think like, oh, any guy will be lucky to have you. Like, how come I can attract all these men on the internet that comment on my pictures, tell me that I'm beautiful and all this shit, but I have my own fucking man not doing the same to me, you know? Like, what do I have to do for you to see me and look at me away, you know? So it sucks because I know for a fact that I loved him way more than he ever loved me.
Okay, just real quick before he answers. Let's be real. At the beginning, he did say like he didn't find her attractive, and then like later on, like
Right.
somehow was like, oh, now that I've hung out with this girl more, she's kind of cute, which is always the greatest compliment that anybody wants to receive.
Right.
After some time, you wear on the person and they end up with, they're kind of cute.
Yeah, that's exactly what you wanted. But she's is she questioning right now, like, why are all these men commenting on my Instagram that I'm hot, but no, my man in real life would never say that to me in person.
Yeah.
Is that what she's saying?
But yeah, and that's
Well, because you're
he never said
photoshopping
it.
yourself on Instagram and you're projecting an image that is not you. That's why people find you attractive, because it's not you. It's something that's made up and done in a way to attract people and attract comments in this fake world of social media. But when it comes down to it, like, you know, I think it's pretty. I mean, I'm not gonna comment on whether or not she's good looking or not, but if you're projecting one image on social media that does not correspond to your image in real life, day-to-day activity, you can't walk around in real life with a filter on that makes your face a certain, gives it a certain clarity, or, puts a certain makeup on it, or makes your body much slimmer. That's not who you really are. And yeah, that's probably why. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it's really logical, right? When we're seeing, let's say 20 frames per second or 25 frames per second. We're seeing a lot of frames. We're seeing a lot of pictures all within 1 second. So when a person takes a picture, they're really taking, let's say, like 100 pictures, and then they pick out the one picture that makes them look the best. Mm-hmm. So that's one frame. When we as humans see like 25 or 30 frames per second. So like if you're exposed to a person, you blow through that one picture that one person thinks that they're the most attractive in. So yeah, I mean, real life is obviously far more telling if a person is attractive or not. And yeah. I mean, granted, we'll see what he says. He's definitely not an angel.
Okay. I would say it's kind of mainly my fault. I know what I did wrong was, I guess talking to other girls, which I shouldn't be, and also on her part, mainly like her peers who are around her, like her friends I told her not to hang out with, brought us into a standpoint where it's like, you choose your friends or you choose me.
Okay. So that's pretty shitty, right? Like talking to other girls when you're in a relationship, attempting to cheat, and then secondly, saying or being controlling, giving the ultimatum of you either hang out with your friends or with me, which is just such a weird thing. Like if you're not that attracted to your girlfriend, it seems like it's more of a power dynamic than in that situation. It's not about him actually being jealous. I don't know. It just seems like
it could definitely. Yeah, that's the way it seemed. I wish he would have gone into a little bit more detail as far as like, I didn't like her friends because they were being negative around her, or inspiring her to do things that were out of character. And I saw her going down a dark place, and her friends were kind of encouraging bad behavior. He didn't say all those things.
No.
If he did, then I would understand, like, and then we had a conversation, and we kind of came to an agreement that, like, your friends are not really who they say they are. They're not out for your best interest. And I'm just trying to show you that. And I don't want you to continue to hang around them and go down a destructive path. I don't want them to drag you down. But, if you choose to continue to do that, and after I've already voiced that and we both come to the agreement that you've done this, then you got to make a choice. Like if it was that, then I could see a little bit more on his side. But I think you're probably right in that, he's just like, I don't like him, don't want to give him a shot.
Right.
So choose.
Yeah. And this is both of their sides now.
I mean, obviously, it was both of our fault, but it was mainly my fault. Me talking to other girls, doing shady stuff.
I did say that I did blame you for a little bit. Whenever I get into fights with like Tony here and there and stuff, I always say like, oh, I think it's because Richard fucked me up. Like, you know, like I was with this
Damn.
guy for almost 6 years and like he was like doing weird stuff behind my back and talking to other girls. So it gives me trust issues and stuff. Now I just blame myself because I was a fucking idiot for even like putting up with that shit.
It's good that you took that initiative
Yeah.
and blame yourself for once.
Oh,
Took
man.
the initiative and blamed yourself for once.
Good
Wow.
gracious. The bitterness does not stop after,
No.
years.
God,
Jeez. That's
these people aren't the
nuts.
most intelligent either, but
No, it doesn't seem like they're all that reflective. I feel like she might be a smidge more intelligent than he is, but still, not exactly the most emotionally
Yeah.
in tune. It's good that you
No.
took the initiative and blamed
Blame
yourself for
yourself.
once. Man, oh man. I mean, if the
Blamed yourself.
guy is talking to other girls and doing all that stuff and then trying to control her on her life, I find it funny that
Yeah, he's still
the
trying to
first
just-
thing he says is, after all that, is it's good that you blame yourself.
insane.
Yeah. Okay, so this next question is, why does this relationship make you emotional?
My mom didn't hold me and kiss me and tell me she loved me as a child, so I feel like that's like a mommy thing for me. That's why I'm so lovey-dovey with my son now. But with Richard, I don't know. Like, behind closed doors, I showed more affection. But I feel like I said, it built up resentment. You know, I felt like he didn't deserve that. So, looking back, it did suck. He probably felt really small. Sorry. I'm sorry that I made you feel that way.
It's kind of upsetting because like we could have moved on, you know, be with a different person, but we kind of just went back. Every time I think about that, it kind of gets me like upset because I could have just did something else and just not waste my time on the negativity. In the beginning.
Okay. So, being with someone else, he was trying to be with someone else, sort of. He was trying to play the field. That's what he was actually trying to do, which he just didn't want to decommit and then be alone and then try and find someone else. That's my interpretation of what happened. As for what
Right.
she said, I mean, I don't know. Let me hear that back real quick.
Sorry. I'm sorry that I made you feel that way.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So she was saying that she was sorry that she made him feel small and whatnot. I mean, granted, this is an incredibly tiny snapshot in a 6-year relationship, but it doesn't really make for great content to just sit here and say, well, I don't know what could have happened. So I do think that she has nothing to apologize for. I think, if the guy's talking to other girls and whatnot, it's still his responsibility to say, hey, I'm not happy in this relationship and I want to end this relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I think she mentioned about her mom, and it probably goes back to certain situations in her life where she felt like, if things weren't going right, it must be her fault, even if it wasn't. So maybe it's just how her personality has developed to take on, more negative than she should, or that she's actually responsible for in certain things when she can't really put her finger on why things went negatively or went the way that they did.
Yeah.
She would probably naturally just blame herself, because her parents didn't have any accountability in their lives or try to be responsible and admit to their mistakes. So probably she's trying to overcompensate.
There's a trickle-down effect, I feel like, with a relationship with your parents. I mean, if you see your parents doing certain things, either you'll follow in line and do the same thing, or you'll do a hard turn and go the exact opposite. Yeah. Doesn't seem like there's as much
we're like
middle
Jordan
ground.
Peterson right now.
Oh, yeah. It's all about the
We're killing
archetypes. He's an archetypal male, and she's like archetypal female.
He represents chaos.
He's the druid.
You know, if you read Exodus in the Bible.
Okay. What did your family think of your ex? This is the next question they're going to answer.
Beginning, it was cool. You know, they liked her. And then I think midway relationship, like I think probably like 2 years in, that's when they're like, oh yeah, you should dump her, or just like, should not be with her no more.
My mom knew. She would tell me, he's a nice guy, yeah, but he don't care about you. Like, you're so stupid, you're whipped. And I'm just like, no, Mom, you don't understand. I love him, he loves me. But do you want to talk about it or no?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, like, you know, I was with you the whole time through your mom's thing. And like when she finally passed, may she rest in peace. It was just so hard, Richard, because like, your mom passed away and we were going through this breakup and I was so fucking mad at you, but yeah, I was still trying to feel for you and like be there for you. Pretty cool.
Okay, so that's why I think that she's slightly, at least slightly more intelligent than he is, because like one, she's trying to be empathetic, and in a number of different situations she has tried to be empathetic. And I mean, the one time when he could have easily taken blame because it was directly his fault, you know, talking with girls and all that, he deflected the blame onto her, which my sense is that she tried way harder than he tried. And he's just, he still hasn't grown up. He still hasn't got to that point where he can
tell.
Take responsibility.
Yeah, he just shut off and like wants to push the blame off on other people, and I don't know. Yeah, you can tell he's just a deadbeat, really.
That's what it feels like. If you go through a 6-year relationship and you're like really pissed off at your ex, but you still care about them enough to like feel for when they lose, you know, a parent or lose something. Someone incredibly important to them, like that's hard to do. I mean, that really shows that you genuinely had compassion for that person.
Yeah.
So, and it just doesn't, I don't get that sense from him whatsoever.
Nope.
Okay, I think this is the last question that they end up answering. Is there anything else you'd like to say? This is the end of that interview.
Obviously, I'm really sorry for what I did in the past, but it kind of made us stronger and made realize what.
Okay.
So straight away.
Okay. I'm really sorry.
Can't make a real apology.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, but it did make us stronger. Okay.
Helped us.
It may have fucked her up psychologically, but it made us stronger. Yeah, okay.
If anything, I don't think it helped anybody, but it probably showed her what to avoid in I guess her now husband, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then I guess he's probably still single.
I know, I think he's in a relationship actually.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in a relationship now, but if I were his girlfriend, I'd be like, okay, this is alarming.
Mm-hmm.
This is really alarming. It made us stronger. Like, it doesn't feel like he's changed at all,
Yeah.
and she's evolved quite a bit.
Whenever you say, I'm sorry, but that's not a real apology.
Mm-mm.
You know, who to trust, what kind of person we are. And I just don't want her to feel resentment of what I did.
I hope you're happy. I'm not mad at you and I don't hate you. I hope our relationship doesn't affect your new relationship. I want you to, tell her she's beautiful, tell her you love her, say these things because that's like something he sucked at.
Okay, so that was the end. So, oh yeah, I did want to mention one more thing. She said was it her? I think it was her that mentioned that she felt resentment. And I will say, I think that in a relationship, the moment you start feeling resentment for your partner, that's a fast track to that's it being over. Yeah, that's an incredibly hard thing. So for him to say, "Oh, I hope you don't feel resentment anymore," I mean, like, it takes a lot of communication to get over that stuff and to try and like put your feelings aside. I just can't imagine him ever putting his feelings aside and actually trying to bridge the gap between them and try to understand where she was coming from. So, yeah, overall, my impression is that he doesn't seem like a great person to be in a relationship with, at least at this moment. And although I certainly would not want to be in a relationship with her, she seems like she's far nicer, kinder than he is.